Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ola and I'm your personal finance fitness blog. Today we'll be talking about investing your money. So it's quite an interesting topic, right? And I get a lot of questions around it. I have people that ask me from time to time, they've saved, they don't know what to do about investing, everything just seems like a blur and they don't know where to start from. And so this is why I'm doing this recording, guide you through the process. But if you are still struggling with saving, I have a video and the suggestion will come up here. So you can check out that video and you can start your own journey to saving. It's never too late to start. So what is investing? Investing is basically putting your money into some form of venture with the expectation that your money will come back to you with some additional return. Now that expectation of return is what makes it an investment. If you give someone money and you're not expecting it back, it's a gift. If you give someone money and you're expecting it back, but you're not expecting any form of return, you're just supporting somebody's life. You're just helping. Really, I can't even call it debt because yes, it's an obligation to you, but it's not even an investment in any way, shape or form. So the idea of investing is the fact that you are expecting some additional return on your capital, meaning your money that you put into it. Now the first thing is, why do you want to invest? So yes, we always want to make money. We know that our money should work for us, but what are the things that you are trying to achieve? So defining your goals when it comes to investing is very key, because there's this quote by Muhammad Ali: "My hands can hit what my eyes can see." So if you have not defined what you are trying to achieve, then it's very unlikely that you will achieve it. That being said, let's go into investing itself. So there are two basic forms of investing. One in which you provide your capital for a specific period of time and you get your cash back at maturity. And then there's one where you hold an ownership stake in that investment. Now the one where you get your capital back and some interest is obviously debt. But for equity, where what you get is an ownership stake, it's a different ballgame. There's actually no date where your cash is officially coming back to you. So now let's go into debt in detail. What is debt, and in what situations would you consider investing in a debt instrument? By debt instrument, I mean anything that gives you that commitment that I would pay you back your money after 6 months, after 1 year. The first nature of debt is that you are expecting a return, an interest rate, 5%, 10%, 100%. You get your interest rate, and then there's a maturity date. There's a date where your money is due back to you. For debt, the major thing you are looking at is the person able to pay me back? Now, if they have cash flows to pay you back, you are fine. When you are getting an ownership stake, the conversation is different, because your focus is on the growth of the company, because your only exit is if you're able to sell your stake to somebody else. What that means is, if you put 100k in a company and what you get in exchange is a 20% stake or ownership in that company, the only way you can get out of that investment is by selling that stake to somebody else. Now, when you are going in with equity, the major thing you are considering is, will the value of this 100k go up? Now, how do you decide which one works for you? Like I already explained, the equity investment requires you to be there for a longer period. However, the risk is higher. It means that if anything goes wrong in the company, while you are still holding that stake, you are stuck with it, right? The value, your 100k might now be 95k. So if you want to get your cash out, the question is, are you willing to take that 5k loss? That's a decision you have to make. In all this, I've indirectly mentioned the risk of default. Can they pay? Can they not pay back? I've also talked about the length of your holding period. For an equity investment, you're holding for a longer period, but for debt, you are there as long as you agree at the start. So for example, your fixed deposit can be 2 weeks with your bank and it's still a debt instrument. But then you can also do a 1-year treasury bill. That's another debt instrument, right? So how do you know which one suits you per time? Like I mentioned, your goals. As amazing as it may sound, the first thing you need to do when you want to start investing is to define your goals. What are you trying to achieve? when you have decided on what you are trying to achieve and you understand the nature of each of these investment options, it's almost like plug and play to know that, okay, if I need this money in 2 months' time and the equities market is quite choppy, meaning that it's always going up and down, it makes sense for me to just be at peace with myself and with my mental health by just living to something that might not provide the same amount of return, but will give me the security that I need. Now, there's some investments that actually provide a mix of the two, where you can get some interest for a period and then convert into equity holdings and all that, but that's actually going fancy. But in terms of understanding the nature and the risk, I hope this was quite useful to you. Oh, in addition, some people were asking about where to start from. With respect to investing in equities and even buying mutual funds, a lot of asset managers have apps. Meristem, Stanbic Asset Management, Investment One, they all have apps that you can download in the App Store, and you can fund your account directly and buy whatever you want to on the exchange, invest in mutual funds. You don't need to go to their offices anymore. Those times have actually gone. So things are much easier. So in conclusion, anytime you are considering debt, I've explained what debt is, always think about, can this person pay back? Do they have the cash flows to accommodate a repayment? And when you're thinking about equity, which is an ownership stake, the question is, will the value go up? And just to remind you that there are 2 things you should never outsource: your health and your finances. So you have to be efficient. You have to engage. Don't block your mind to personal finances and economy and all that, because it affects everyone. If you have something you would want me to explain, an economic term that you always hear and you don't seem to get the point of it, please post it in the comment section. I will be glad to do something like that. So I hope this was useful. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you know the next time I put something up for you. See you next week. Bye.